Hello, YouTube. I'm Vince White. I'm an employment attorney, and yeah, it's Saturday, and yeah, you're getting a bonus video. You're getting a bonus video because I am behind on answering people's questions, and I'm freaking out because I don't want people to go without answers. This question was asked by YouTube user Cody Watson 8 days ago on our video entitled, When Employers Lie About Why They Are Firing You, It Could Be a Claim. It's called a pretext. And Cody Watson said, or asked, I guess I should say, does this fall under sexual harassment or is this any form of harassment? Because employers, especially in New York City, don't want to hear a complaint on anything they have, and they feel like you should be grateful they even gave you a job. And when you speak up, they motion to terminate you. Okay, so retaliation. We have a couple videos on the channel, Cody, about retaliation. And it's really key to understand. So there's protected activities and protected classes in the world of employment law. All the protected classes are like all the things that you could be discriminated against on the basis of religion, disability, race, national origin, age, orientation, gender identity, like genetics. Like there's many of them, and it depends on where you are as to how many protected classes there are, because their laws and the case law in different areas are different. And that's weird and confusing, and it's hard for people. But it's how it is. Now, protected activities are often what give rise to retaliation. And let's run through a really, really quick list of what would be the most common protected activities that could give rise to a retaliation claim. Now, I want to be clear, this is not an all-inclusive list. This is just the most common that I see in my day-to-day life representing employees. If you complain of workplace sexual harassment and then something bad happens to you, there is a very high chance that the bad thing that happened to you was retaliatory. If you complain of workplace discrimination and then something bad happens to you, there is a very high chance you have a retaliation claim. If you complain of unpaid wages, misclassification, unpaid overtime, there is a very good chance that you have a workplace retaliation claim. If you complain about anti-union activity, or if you engage in lawful union activity, and then somebody does something bad to you as a result of that, it is a very likely chance that you have a retaliation claim, right? Those are the most common. Without a doubt, those are the most common. Now, there's also another protected activity, which is just participating in the investigation of workplace discrimination, workplace sexual harassment, or unpaid wages or unpaid overtime, or even just union activity, participating in union activity, right? That is to a protected activity. So this is a quick, super quick primer on what activities are protected activities and what are the most common activities that could give rise to the protections against retaliation, which is, I think, what you're talking about here. I hope this helps. I'm with you. Employers do not want to hear complaints. And New York is a funny place to be an employee these days because the rest of the country is begging for employees. Taco Bell, half an hour from my house in New Hampshire, last time I saw, I think they're paying 22, 24 an hour to try to get employees. And they're not always open. Like they're not able to pay like 24 an hour. $24 an hour is not enough for them to necessarily be able to staff their restaurant full time. New York? No, that is not how it's going to be. And half the unions in New York are dirty, right? So half of them are great, half of them ain't. So, New York is a real difficult place to be an employee. Not for nothing. New York is a hard place to just work, right? If you're not wealthy in New York, good luck finding an apartment. The average apartment rent in Manhattan, I believe, is now $5,000 a month. I believe that is for a one-bedroom apartment. Forget rooms for your kids. Forget all multifamily living, right? Just I think a one-bedroom apartment is now on average in Manhattan $5,000 a month. And the employees don't seem to have as much leverage in New York. they might have elsewhere in the country. So I agree with you. And I hate to say it, but I got out of New York. I I moved to New Hampshire like 2 years ago, and I'm not saying you should get out of New York, but I'm saying you have a lot more money in your pocket and your life be a little bit better if you did. Sorry. Like and subscribe. It helps me to help you. And I will check this video for follow-up comments. I believe I answered your question, but if I didn't, ask follow-up, and I will try to do better. I can be better, Cody. I can be better.